Welcome to the Powerful Comicsman podcast. This is Jerald Dorado, continuing my 40 Life Wisdom at 40 series. We're now at number 28. But before we continue, let me just tell you about Miyucha Lux Cakes. You can find us at hello.miyucha on Instagram and Facebook. We have the best, hands down, the best looking, the best tasting, and basta the best vegan desserts, treats, cakes, cookies, donuts, everything. Read the reviews, read the comments. We're at hello.miyucha. That's at HELLO.MIUCCIA on Instagram and Facebook. And we're also in the web page. This series is available on at www.comicsman.com/40 life wisdom at 40. That's comicsman with a K. We have a YouTube video. It's shown here. To those who are in Spotify, there's a link in the descriptions of each episode for this series. You can find that link. Okay, so let's go down with. Let's now get on with the episode. At number 28, stuff turn into clutter fast once you bought them. Okay, so I think it's self-explanatory. So that's the episode. No. Yeah. So basically, um, a lot of the things that you think you need, you don't really need them, and it will depend on you to whether what kind of value you would want to put on the things that you like, that you buy. And also, this is financial advice, really. Be careful and learn how money works. Learn your finances. Because money is what is very different from what you think it is, if you don't know about it, if nobody teaches you about it. And it is quite unfortunate that I wasn't I wasn't lucky enough to be well informed about money at in my younger age. I started learning about money when I was already in my early 30s. So that's one of the things that I would I would have loved to run back if given a chance, because money is the, it's unfortunate that our society do not teach about money at all. Uh, it's no, I'm gonna digress too much if I go into the school system, education system here in the Philippines. But with if you're listening to this right now, you have probably uh, you're probably through high school already. At least most people are already done with high school. If you are high school or younger, then good for you. Learn about money right now. Right now. I'm telling you, if you do not have a financial mentor, it's very different from what you think it is, how it works. There's a lot of things that you would hear in the media, and quite frankly, from other people, even from your family. Not everybody knows about how money works, and unfortunately, your parents might not even know how it works because they were not told as well. Uh, so it is up to you to to uh, to be to educate yourself, to be knowledgeable about finances, the importance of saving, the importance of the having a right mindset of not spending and investing and, well, saving and investing. Those are concepts that are actually very complicated. Those are It's complicated because it's hard to practice. You would need to train your brain to do that, and the older you get, the harder it is to let go of your habits. I know I struggled. Even now, I'm still not. I'm still. I still have not reached the financial freedom that I would would like to have, unfortunately. But I think I'm still better equipped than most people. Know about these things. You cannot. I'm gonna tell you right now, whatever age you are, you cannot disregard the importance of knowing how money works, and it takes a different kind of discipline to uh, to practice this, especially if you have developed bad spending habits. One of the common mistakes is the mentality of thinking that spending is a reward for your a reward for you after a long week's or a month's work or a day's work. That is your reward for. Kumbaga, you get gratification when you spend. The financial advisors would tell you that it should be the other way around. That you should feel a sting that spending, especially on things that are just stuff that are gonna turn into clutter as fast as you paid the bill. uh Thinking that is gratification, feeling the ecstasy of buying something, because that's a real thing. When you buy something, it's when you click that buy button in Lazada, it's it feels good. And then it will sink in slowly. Oh, why did I do that? Those are very real things. And again, the some a good financial advisor will advise you to reverse it instead. So if your brain is wired like that, make it rewire. You would have to rewire your brain, and that could be a challenge. Okay, because it will take discipline. Rewire your brain such that you don't feel happy when you buy something. When you get to buy something or eat out, eat in a eat expensive food. Rewire it so that you get that happiness when you save. Parang, "Uy, I'm happy because I saved." That's or invested something. Uh, that is I would admit that's not the easiest thing to do, especially if you were not trained and did not have anybody tell you that before. And learning that by yourself, it takes effort too. So I'm telling you now, again, as with most of the things that I'm sharing here in this series, this is another head start. I'm just telling you the things that are gonna happen to you, whether you like it or not. If you're gonna, if you're gonna think, if you're gonna take a look at the list, all of these things you will experience them one way or another by the time you're 40. And the sooner you you realize them, or if you can have at least a head start, or um what's the not a head start, uh a foresight, not foresight, what's the right word, a hot tip. I think a hot tip, this is gonna happen. You should, it is based on my experience, this is, it works better if you do this instead of this. You get what I mean? But right now, what I'm saying is you need to do something about bad spending habits. The sooner you get it resolved, the better. Take it from me. Diba? Uh, take it from me, somebody who had made tons of bad financial decisions before. Probably not as bad as the others, pero I think more on lack of effort ang nangyari sa akin. Kasi I wasn't aware. I didn't know about the stock market. I didn't know about banks, about loans. Didn't know about investing. I didn't know about business. And right now, if you look at the being 40, and I see young young people in their early 20s um doing business, diba? I get, I feel like, why didn't I do that before? Diba? Why was it, why was it not ingrained in my brain to do that? Diba? Kasi there are there are very young entrepreneurs out there doing small scale, um I don't know, businesses, being in the vegan community. There are plenty of young entrepreneurs there, having their own vegan businesses. And I'm amazed, I am really impressed by these young people. They start right now, they're small, but slowly, just after a year, you would see progress. So if you're gonna project that, give it give it a few more years, and who knows where it will where it will go, how it will develop. And I could have done the same, diba? But of course, we have our different um, paths in life. Pero of course, I'm telling you now, whatever path you're taking right now, it is it is it it is very important. It is a prerequisite. You need to know about money. You need to study what money is. You need to know about finances and taking care of your future, taking care of your present too, and and investing. There are some technical shit about money and finances that you would need to learn, and don't be scared. Another problem kasi is when you watch, let's say, the business news in, let's say, ANC or CNN, it's intimidating if you don't know anything about that. So they use jargon. I don't know if they're intentionally using that so that not a lot of poor people can understand. If you want to be conspiratorial, di ba? But if you actually take the time to look at it, they're really simple. They're really simple ideas, di ba? They just sound complicated. It's easy for you to understand if you can navigate your way to this podcast in YouTube and Spotify. Then you can research that. And also, one of the great things about YouTube and the podcast is there are lots of resources now. Back then, when I was after college, when I was in college, there was already the there was already internet, but it's not as intuitive as it is right now. There's no YouTube yet, so if you want to know about finances, it's almost like reading a book. You would have to read articles. Wala pang mga ano nun, wala pang mga vlogs noon that would make it so much simpler. That would to the point that anybody, even kids, can understand. So that is an advantage that you have now. Diba? Find your mentor. Sina Gary V. Sina uh, Tony Robbins. Tony ano ba? Tony Robbins nga ba? Basta Brian Tracy. Brian Tracy was my mentor. I would consider a mentor that I will never probably meet, but my mentor nonetheless. So find that person. Ang dami, ang dami. I'm sure you can find one on YouTube. Sa YouTube pa lang. If books is your thing, then go to a bookstore. Just make it a point to know about it. Kasi essential siya sa buhay mo if you want success. We are living in a modern world which requires knowledge in how the modern economies work, how the modern banks work. If you want to remain up to date or even get ahead, you have no choice if you want to maintain a modern life, unless ang plano mo sa buhay ay pumunta sa probinsya at alam mo yun, maging magsasaka. Okay naman yun kung yun ang trip mo, 'di ba? But even them, they need to why are you gonna do that? Just study it. I don't need to come up with weird analogies just to convince you. I'm just telling you, you have to. Everybody who has succeeded either studied the principles of money or they discovered them themselves. But the knowledge is essential. You need to learn it. I'm just repeating myself over and over again. Just remember that thing that you I know I I know I've bought a lot of things from Lazada already, and most of them they're just cluttering here in my room. Some of them gets easily broken. Some of them I would buy several, and some lucky pa nga kung magagamit ko. uh but yeah, that's just learn to if you can if you can live with the minimum amount of stuff, do so. You don't need all of the clothes. You don't need 10 closets of clothes, diba? And can you imagine? I don't know how old you are right now. If you saved the money that you bought the clothes that you're not using anymore right now, just think about that. Can you imagine the shoes that are just rotting away? Especially if you're filthy rich, then this probably doesn't mean anything to you. But if you're not, then that's something for you to think about. Imagine the how much you have saved. Diba? Think of the things. Think of things in broader in a broader scale, instead of thinking the amount of your monthly paycheck. Think of it as think think of your annual salary per year. How much is it? How much are you able to save? Think of how much you have already earned in your current company or past ones. If you have spent, let's say, 5 years in a company, how much have you earned already? How much have you earned already, since you can compute these things? How much have you earned already since you started working? Diba? And then, if you're not saving, you're gonna be sad. I know I did. I know I got sad a little bit, but then that is as I mentioned earlier, in the series, diba? The best the proverb, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now, diba? There's no use in crying over spilled milk. What you have is right now. You can still make things happen. Uh, it could be frustrating at first, but make peace with yourself, diba? And do better. I think that's another underlying overall message of this series: making peace with yourself and doing better. So there, your stuff turn into clutter very fast the moment you buy them. So be careful. Okay? Watch your finances. Be rich. You can be rich. I've mentioned that in the previous episode. be rich. And the best thing about this is that countless of books have already been written on how to be rich. All you need to do is just follow those. Those books were published for a reason, because they work. They work to a lot of people. Millions and millions of people have followed them, and it worked for them. It can also work for you. There is a way, diba? Like I said, like I mentioned earlier, the first reason why anyone would not be rich is because it never occurred to them that they could be rich, diba? So I'm sharing that knowledge to you. If you don't know it yet, if you're just catching up on the series with this episode, but it is life. This modern age, you are required to have financial intelligence. Okay, paulit-ulit na tayo. That's it. Stuff turned into clutter very fast once you bought them. Powerful Comics Man podcast.